we go!
It's time for TSS Fantasy.
It is Commissioner Cooper.
I could do a whole 49ers show right now.
Ready to rock out with my gavel out.
Oh yeah, baby!
Don't sleep on my Patriots,
And we're ready for football. Is that
Joe Burrow with this wrist? I'm curious.
I find you guilty of all charges. Although you
assistant force in this one.
Please develop some really great
DJ Chuck Bass.
This guy has been doing it ever since coming on.
I hope you like the web.
He's made 4 targets in all 3 of the last games.
Scored a touchdown this year.
You know, the great thing about being a football player is you don't have to take a shower to go to work.
There it is.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper, and you're waking up with TSS Fantasy.
Yeah, out here in Jacksonville, it's rainy weather out here. Jets might pick up this victory today as long as they run the ball.
Absolutely. We've talked about that all damn season long for those Jets, but I love the on location in Jacksonville, Fred the Jester in the hotel room, waking everyone up with an emphatic yeah. All right, well, let's start the introductions. Welcome into the studio. As I mentioned, in Jacksonville, Fred the Jester Reyes. Welcome in, my friend.
It's been a long season, but boy, it's my last game on location. It's been pretty hard to go to these games with the way the Jets been playing. But we're here. Let's go. Get this victory.
No one can question your fandom. That is for sure. All right, let's also welcome in the new Jets hater, Greg O'Shea, the Juice is Loose Mayor. Welcome in.
I'm not a hater. I'm just a realist, man. Listen, my beloved Jets are trash. They're trash. They're trash. And I wish I had the heart and the fortitude like Freddie to go watch them every week, but I can't do it.
Well, man, I feel for you guys. Dylan, welcome in, my friend. Let's get it. Indeed, it is playoff time. He said he got the Jets today as well. So, check you out. Dylan, I see your question in there. We are going to get to that in a second. I just don't want to have Bry wait too long. He's already had a rough morning as it is. So let's let's pay the bills first, of course. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a huge solid. Hit like, get your lineup questions in. Do all the notification bells, all the great stuff for YouTube. We appreciate you doing that. Little things stopping you from doing it. Big things popping for us when you do. It's always appreciated. If you're playing daily fantasy and if you're out of the playoffs and just looking for something to do, go to Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code TSS. We'll double that deposit up to $100. And in a little bit, we'll give you some great lineups to throw in there as well. So make sure you check that out. Also, if you're looking for some championship bling for your fantasy champion, and we're getting about that time, look no further than Pro-Am belts. All right, so we got a busy show today. It's a lot of games to go over, so we're going to get things started. Of course, we're going to go inside the medical tent with Brian Scott.
A.J. Dillon just went into the medical tent a moment ago.
Good morning, Brian, and also really quickly, good morning, Justin Jesus Herrera's finally gone on board with us this morning. Welcome in, my friend.
I know it anymore. Good morning, fellas. Good morning, fellas.
He muted himself.
You muted yourself. All right, all good either way. Let's welcome Brian Scott. Welcome into the studio, my friend. Give us the skinny today and bring us inside the medical tent.
Okay. Well, there's a lot going on, a lot of questionables, kind of stuff floating up in the air. Probably the most curious one for me is DeAndre Swift. I still don't know if he's actually playing today. He's going to carry that questionable tag in with this new groin injury. So he's one that of all these people on the list, I'd probably say be careful of. Because I'm not really sure what's going to happen. That could be a true game time decision. But knowing the status of a bunch of other players, let's get into it here. Justin Herbert, he's been removed from the injury report. He was dealing with a leg contusion on one side and an ankle injury on the other, but it sounds like it was not serious. He's been taken off the injury report. Aiden O'Connell. So he had a knee bruise. I'm concerned that that's going to take several weeks for him to recover from. He didn't really practice at all this week, but the team still has him listed as questionable, and they're still saying that there is a chance he could play, but I'm very doubtful. I don't think he's actually going to be in there. So you might want to pay attention to that one as we get closer to game time as well. Derek Carr, he actually was downgraded to doubtful. So it looks like he's probably not going to play, even though there were some reports earlier in the week saying that he could, and they hadn't ruled him out yet at all. Now there's some talk that he might actually even be done for the season. So something to keep an eye on is not only for today, but as we go into next week as well. Kenneth Walker, he was downgraded to doubtful, so it doesn't sound like he's going to be in the lineup this week with that ankle calf injury thing he's been dealing with. Breece Hall did not practice much this week at all. I think he missed 2 days at least, and then this is the surgically reconstructed knee, but he's been having some soreness, and yet he's got a questionable tag, and it sounds like the Jets are optimistic he's actually going to play. How effective he's going to be, though, not so sure. And they might be cautious with him, throwing him out there for a full set of snaps. So he might see some limited action today, but it sounds like he's going to play. Bucky Irving dealing with this back issue that caused him to leave the game early last week. I'm concerned because he had to leave because of tightness, and that's not something that you can easily get over and easily re-aggravate during the week, even in practice. So despite being limited all week, they're saying that he's expected to play today with the questionable tag. Jay, you'll be happy. Raheem Mostert's off the injury report. He was a full participant on Friday. He should be good to go. Pickens, he's already been ruled out. We knew that earlier in the week. Chris Olave out with the concussion. He's not yet been cleared or returned from IR. Cedric Tillman still dealing with concussion. Romeo Doubs still dealing with concussion. You name it. It sounds like Keon Coleman is going to finally be back this week after missing several weeks with this wrist injury. Njoku's not likely suiting up this week with his hamstring injury. He may have even been ruled out already. I'm not even sure. Dalton Kincaid should be making his return today. Will Dissly, it sounds like he's not gonna go on IR, but missed several weeks, so he's gonna be out today. And that's about it. There's a couple other guys that are on this list that are kind of questionable. But if anybody has any questions, that's kind of the big ones I wanted to get to.
Yep, those are good ones. Greg, you got one?
Well, I heard Njoku is going to be like he's going to test it out before the game. It's also going to be like a pregame workout to determine. So that doesn't sound good at all.
It's not. He's dealing with the hamstring issue. That's never a good sign.
Yeah, Brian, it's just selfish. This Pickens hamstring, how long you think it's going to linger? Because I'm on a bye this week, and I may need him next week in the second round of the playoffs. I just wonder, is that going to be a lingering thing for Pickens?
Well, the thing about it was, like, initially when they were saying that he was hurt, it sounded like it was actually more of like a personnel issue thing. Like, it sounded like it was almost like he was at odds with the coach and there was some issues there. And then, like, all of a sudden, later in the week, they're like, oh, yeah, he's got a hamstring. He's out. And it was kind of weird the way it all kind of unfolded. So I'm kind of questioning the severity of that injury to begin with. I think there might be more going on to that story than just this hamstring. And I think they might be using that as an excuse to cover up some other things going on in the locker room.
Suspension injury.
Exactly. Right. So I don't know, man. That's a tough call. But if it is truly a hamstring injury, it could be several weeks. We might not see him till playoff time.
Yeah, those unfortunately linger and linger, unfortunately. So, yeah. But hopefully, like you said, more disciplinary so you can at least have them for next week. All right. Well, Bri, we appreciate your time, my friend. As always, let everyone know where they can follow, subscribe, and get your great content.
Yeah, at Injured List Pod on X, the Injured List Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Of course, the website, theinjuredlist.com. And you can find me on a bunch of That Sports Podcast Network shows throughout the week.
Hell yeah, absolutely you can. All right, we're going to hear from our friends from NeuroGuard. Thank you so much, Bri, and we're going to get to your lineup questions. I see we got a few in here already right after this.
Dr. Michael Hutchison has harnessed the latest in neuromuscular dentistry and impact technology to develop a mouthguard that does more than protect. It enhances. NeuroGuard Plus isn't just a mouthguard. By focusing on the jaw's physiological position, it provides an added layer of neuroprotection, significantly reducing the risk of sports-related neurological injuries. All athletes should be using a custom mouthguard designed to their bite position. NeuroGuard Plus was created as a means to maintain your physiological jaw position regardless of your bite. The appliance is designed to optimize your upper-lower jaw relationship to improve your strength, your balance, your oxygen intake, and drastically lower your chance of a concussion. Independent studies have shown that the NeuroGuard Plus will provide you with improvement to both upper and lower body strength. The same improvements were not present with a common mouthguard. Over 6,500 athletes have used the NeuroGuard Plus. Dr. Hutchison is happy to say that the amount of diagnosed concussions is 0.2%. The NeuroGuard Plus offers athletes, coaches, and parents an advantage to keep their players safe on the field. If you or your child actively participates in athletics, they need to be protected from the dangers of repetitive head trauma. Get your NeuroGuard Plus mouthguard today. Click on the link and use code ILP Sports for 10% discount on your purchase.
All right, before we hit the weather report, damn, Fred pulled a disappearing act. Let's get to some of these comments. Dylan, good morning, my friend. Big day for one of your leagues. 3 rounds, 2 weeks each round. Ooh, down to 12 to start to the second week. He'll list his question below. Other 2 leagues, he's got to buy. That's because you're with TSS all the time. That's why. All right, let's go to some of these questions. Dylan, thank you so much as always. And let's go to Mobbin. Thanks so much for your question this morning. Justin, we'll go to you to open it up. Otten or Freiermuth today?
I'm going to go Freiermuth. He seems to be starting on a roll, and with Pickens out, I would think he would be the logical first target for Russell Wilson today.
Absolutely. I love that. Cap for life. Good morning to you, my friend. We appreciate you joining us as always. Greg, for you, DJ Moore or Khalil Shakir today?
Ooh, both tough matchups, man. You know that Minnesota defense, but I would go with DJ Moore because they're gonna probably be down. They're gonna have to throw that ball a lot. So I like DJ Moore against Minnesota today.
By the way, Dylan, as you said, OJ said, let us pray today.
I need Pickens, man. Like, I know I got to buy this week, but, next week is big things, and I need Pickens to play.
Love it. Yeah, Dylan, wanted to thank Brian. Thank you, Dylan, for coming in today. We appreciate it. All right. So, Fred. Boy, he's got a few in here, so this is the one we'll kind of spread the love around today. Let's go. He needs 1 running back, 1 flex, and 1 tight end. So here's his running backs. So give me 1 running back out of here. Bucky Irvin, McLaughlin, Jerome Ford, Braylon Allen, or Tajay Spears. What do you like out of that group?
Wow.
I don't know about if Bucky Irvin's going to be 100%. I don't even know if he's playing. Braylon Allen might not be playing. I think I'm gonna go. No, I'm thinking, bro. Think of it. I think I was to put. I want to say Bucky Irvin because he's not 100% out yet.
Yes.
How many does he need?
He needs 1, and then he needs a flex. But I was going to adjust for the flex spot. But
let everybody else do it. I'm going to still say Bucky Irving until I'm hearing that he's definitely out. I'm going to keep saying Bucky Irving.
And I would say out of that list, that's the obvious play. If he goes, I'd still be riding him. But if not, Tajay Spears could be one of those volume plays today. Yeah. Although he never, even when I think I talked about him on Friday, when he has had the opportunity, he hasn't really done much. But at least volume-wise, he'll be, if Tony Pollard's not in the lineup today, you see a lot of Tajay Spears. So that's kind of where I would look at it. And Jerome Ford has been putting up some more points with Nick Chubb, but, and the conditions call for it to be a running game today. So that he could be a possible decent play today, too. All right, Justin, let's go to you for the flex position. What do you got out of, let's say we'll take Bucky Irving out of the mix and give me a flex in there.
You know what? Just with the idea that this game is going to be so high scoring, I think I want to go J-Mo with that one. I think J-Mo is going to be a big part. He's become a bigger part of this offense. And I think, with the Buffalo Bills, what they did last week against the Rams, I could see this being absolutely explosion of a matchup. And I think J-Mo could be a huge part of that.
Yeah, give me anybody in that matchup. I'm all day with either one of them, so I like that indeed. All right, tight end wise, let's go. He's got Ertz. He said he got Terry starting already. Schultz, Mayer, or Fryermuth out of those. Who do you think?
Definitely Fryermuth. Like Justin said earlier, with Pickens being out, I think Fryermuth is going to be Russell's number one target outside of Van Jefferson. So definitely Fryermuth, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I would just caveat to say I think Schultz might see a decent day as well against America's team because we love to give it up to tight ends. Like I said, it doesn't matter the coach, personnel, defense, through my I don't know, I don't even know how old I am anymore. 40-something years of watching Miami Dolphins football, they always give it up to tight ends. It doesn't matter who the hell's coaching or whatever. So, yeah, he might have a decent day today. All right, let's talk about some weather because they may impact some of your fantasy decisions.
It's time for the weather report.
So games you don't need to worry about this week. Commanders at Saints, America's team, the Miami Dolphins at the Texans, the Bills at the Lions. Thankfully, no weather impact in that one. Patriots at Cardinals, Bucks at Chargers, Bears at Vikings, and Falcons at Raiders. Let's get into the weather, and I'm going to put this one up right away because I was talking earlier pre-show. It's affecting my decision at quarterback. Chiefs at Browns. 41 degrees, says chance of showers, but the biggest thing is the winds are at 21 miles an hour. I would not be starting any kickers in this matchup for certain, but it definitely calls into play how much you trust the arms of both Winston and Mahomes. Bengals at Titans, 56 degrees, likely showers in this one as well, and winds are at 13 miles an hour. Ravens at Giants, 37 degrees, slight chance of rain. Winds are at 6 miles an hour. Cowboys at Panthers, 46 degrees, chance of rain. Winds are at 7 miles an hour. A rainy day across America. Jets at Jags. Fred's there right now, 73 degrees. It says slight chance of rain, but according to Fred, it's raining already.
All night it's been raining.
Winds are at 12 miles an hour, so you can expect some at least wet conditions in Jacksonville. Colts at the Broncos, and this has been the most fluctuating weather report because I've been watching this one all week. They were saying snow, chance of snow. Now all of a sudden it's clear skies. So 54 degrees, clear skies, winds are 15 miles an hour. So kicking may be slightly affected there. Steelers at the Eagles, 40 degrees, chance of rain, and winds are at 5 miles an hour. And then Packers at Seahawks, 45 degrees, with a chance of rain, and winds are at 6 miles an hour. So that's your weather report, and we'll see if that affects any of your lineup decisions. Dylan, thank you, my friend. We, of course, appreciate you. All right, well, let's get on to it. I don't see our boy Eric in just quite yet, so we're going to get to our ultimate DFS lineups. But before we do that, let's get warmed up. You know how we do. Got to get some exercise in, and let's get our flex starts of the week. My Fourth and Flex Fantasy Football Podcast.
It's time for Bandy's Flex Starts of the Week. Hey, what's happening, my people? It's your boy Bandy back with the playoff edition of Bandy's Flex Starts of the Week, man. Some bangers for you, man, for your playoff run, your first round of your playoffs. If you made it this far, it means you're good at what you do. And you've probably been watching Bandy's Flex Starts of the Week. That being said, let's get to it, man. I got a guy for you. He's an older guy on a team that's been kind of a roller coaster ride this year. He's still doing his thing, man. A couple touchdowns in a game last week. I'm guaranteeing he gets a touchdown this week. I'm talking about Keenan Allen on the Bears, a struggling team that can't seem to find it. Keenan Allen, the veteran, is going to find it for you. Moving on to the next guy on my list is old Xavier Leggett. Okay? Old country boy, man. Getting touchdowns, hanging out with Adam Thielen on the Panthers. Panthers just kind of doing a little better. Xavier Leggett's going to catch some passes for you and do what he does for your fantasy team. And now to the last guy on my list, a guy who hasn't been on this team very long, but long enough to start becoming fantasy relevant. If you listened before you picked him up earlier, talking about Amari Cooper. Okay? A good threat for Josh Allen to have, man. I'm talking Josh Allen, the fantasy god, as they say, as of last week, man. Fantasy, if you got Josh Allen on your team, you're probably in the playoffs anyways. Got to throw the ball to my guy Amari Cooper. Put Amari Cooper in your flex spot this week. For more fantasy football advice, check out the Fourth and Flex Fantasy Football Podcast everywhere you can find your podcasts. Kill it in the playoffs, y'all. You got it.
Thank you. I've been working out.
Well, apparently Eric hadn't joined us yet because I sent him the wrong damn link, but he is in the building now. Thankfully, I don't know what the hell I was doing when I sent that out last night. Yeah. Let's go. It's time to get your betting lines in for today. Let's bring in Eric for some homegrown prop bets.
Hey. Smoke weed every day.
You're right. Good. That is a jam.
That is. It's great for the Sunday morning lineup. Welcome in, my friend. How are you?
Excellent. How are you boys doing? Are we ready for playoff fantasy football in the rain?
We are. Yes, don't let it rain on your parade if you're in the playoffs. That's for sure today. All right. Well, let's instead of playing fantasy, let's make some money elsewhere. Give me some good prop bets today.
All right, I got a bunch coming off another 2-2 week. The sack prop system now 3-0. Ray was no sweat, but we lost by a couple yards on the first half props. What are we doing? You know what first half props are? They're cute. I'm not cute. I'm a bald dad who wears camouflage cargo shorts probably more than I should. I don't even know how to get cute. And another thing, I'm tired of these 2-2 Sundays where I make $7 or lose $4. It's week 15. We got drones flying overhead. We don't even know who's driving them. Firing laser beams down at us. It's time to go for it. Now, I don't know what you're up to, but I have made 10 wagers.
Oh. Don't you?
The drones got him, bro. The drones got him.
The laser beam came down and shot him.
Oh, that could not have turned out any better. Cat for Life said, it reminds me I need rap. He said, I have those same shorts. I'm wearing them right now. Yeah. The drones, bro. Absolutely.
I am not talking about drones, boy. Oh, shit.
Eric's back with us. I guess the drones were watching and handle business. What's going on?
I say the D word and I get disconnected. You tell me what's happening. Ravens minus 19.5 plus 125. I have to get in on this just for the historical aspect. There hasn't been a road favorite like this since the Bush administration. Forget your 16.5. This thing is 38-10 Ravens. We will cover the 19.5 easy. Next, Browns, the money line. Plus 200. You can have the points if you want the points, but you're not going to need the points. I'm sick of these fucking Kansas City Chiefs having a rabbit's foot up their ass for the past 3 years, too. We're exercising all the demons today. Give me Jameis and the Browns to take down KC at home in the slop. There is no way you doink a game-winning field goal in and you still have any luck left in the tank. The only thing that could defeat a dark force like this is someone pure of heart with zero negativity. Enter Jameis Winston. Lamar Jackson, over 8.5 rushing attempts, plus 115. I mean, we got system plays all over the place, but this is a new one. Mom yelled at him for not running enough. Now, this became more public than I thought. I thought the bye week would drown it out, but I heard the fantasy footballers talking about it. So, you know, it's out there then. But Mom was mad about the attempts. I think everybody's on the yards. This is the thing about parents. We just want you to try. We're not so much concerned with the results. I think he takes off 10 times today to make Mama happy, but 9 will get us paid. Cooper Rush, under 2.5 rushing yards. It's ironic a dude named Rush wants nothing to do with running the ball, but I mean, this is his last 5 games, 2 attempts, 2 yards, 2 attempts, 2 yards, 4 attempts, 1 yard, 5 attempts, 0 yards. Then last week he got loose for 5 yards on 2 attempts. I don't think he can do it again today versus a resurgent Panthers defense. Cardinals linebackers, Zaven Collins over 0.5 sacks, plus 175. I ran the numbers. This is what the model spit out. Of your road teams, the Patriots give up the most sacks on the road. This kid only has 4, but 3 have been at home. And I think Drake May likes to improvise a little bit. This kid gets in the backfield. He's 6'4", 260. I think he can bring Drake May to the turf. T. Higgins over 76.5 receiving yards, plus 120. It's not just the down game he had last week. It's that Burrow came out and said, we're going to find a way to keep this guy. Now, he just sat down at the table with these people. He knows how cheap this team is. He knows they need to see it on the field. I think T goes for 100 today, but let's not get crazy. Jahmyr Gibbs, over 24.5 receiving yards, plus 105. Running back receiving yards versus the Bills defense have been fantastic all year. Jonathan Taylor fucked us, yes, but everyone else has come through. Devon Achani twice, Justice Hill, Breece Hall, Joe Mixon, etc. Now we get Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, he can get us 25 in one play. A.J. Brown going to score a touchdown today, plus 120. I love a squeaky wheel game, especially from him. The last time we had a rift, they got him the ball. They made a concerted effort to get him the ball. I think they do it early so they can hug it out and beat the Steelers. I think this touchdown could be the first touchdown scored in the game. And for plus 700, it's worth a shot. I mean, they have multiple 40-yard bombs in the playbook for AJB, and I would not be surprised to see one in the first 15 scripted plays to start the game. And finally, Chigoziem Okonkwo touchdown, plus 350. Look, I tried to avoid this. I have a problem. Personally, I cannot quit Chig Okonkwo. I wanted to go with Stone Smart, very on brand, but he plays tomorrow. I was looking at Jordan Akins, but the Chiefs' red zone defense has been really tough lately. But do you know whose red zone defense fucking sucks? Well, Dallas, obviously. But I think if Carolina gets inside the 20, they'll be looking to help Xavier get some redemption. Next worst is San Francisco. They played Thursday, which brings us to the Cincinnati Bengals, who are scoring over 30 per game while also allowing a touchdown on 67% of opponent trips to the red zone. Levis missed a wide open Okonkwo for the game winner last week. Then he had to sit in the film room and explain himself. And I don't mean he missed him like he overthrew him. I mean, he did not see him at all. So Chig gets separation like this, like a wide receiver. He's going to be just as open today, only this time Levis is going to know where he's at in the end zone. Now, will the throw be accurate? I have no idea. That's why it's plus 350. So that's what I'm doing this morning. You can peruse it like a Ponderosa buffet, grab the stuff you like, leave the stuff you don't. Don't talk about the things. Either way, I hope you all have a beautiful Sunday, and may all your fantasy playoff matchups be W's. Before I go, Jason, I need you to talk to your people down there because I'm seeing a high of 56 degrees Fahrenheit in Tampa when we arrive next week, and that is just not going to work for us. I'm not greedy at all. I'll take 68, 70. I understand it's December, but 56 with a low of 39 means I'm packing sweatshirts to go to the Sunshine State, and it simply won't do it.
Well, I'll talk to my peoples about it. I don't know how much pull I got in that department, but we'll definitely put a note
more than
in.
You think.
Well, apparently not with my camera today. Yeah, so where can we follow, subscribe, and get all your great content, my friend?
You can find us at PSR The Show on the Twitter, or me personally at PSR Host Guy on the Twitter.
Nice.
I'm here every damn Sunday morning.
Absolutely, my brother. Well, we appreciate you joining us today. I hope you're ready for some Sunday morning wrestling because we're about to bring in our ultimate DFS lineups for week 15. Eric, thank you so much, my brother.
The power of the Ultimate Warrior.
All right, we're going to do our ultimate DFS lineups. While we do that, I'm going to try to fix this damn camera.
Let's adjusting with y'all cameras, man.
I know. I don't know it must be that drone situation. I don't even know. All right. Well, let's go over some lineups here first. I mean, some of this doesn't need my beautiful face in it at all because this one right here. Want to talk about some ugly face? Let's start out with our jobber this week, Justin. Ooh. bad week. This is probably one of the worst ones we've had. 76.5. Not much really to say. Got the Bears with -1. That kind of hurts you a bit. And some guys that did not at least go double digits for you. So unfortunately, Justin from last week, you're our jobber of the week. Knocking him out. All right, let's go in order from the guys that were pretty bad. How about Fred last week? 116. Not as bad. I shouldn't say as bad because at least you were over 100. I mean, that's 40 more points than Justin, and that was a separation there. Kyler Murray had a decent day for you. Obviously the combo with Trey McBride, that's always money. Ray McLeod, that was a good pick. I know he was a good value last week because you weren't paying much for that at all. So good job there. And by the way, Custo Hockey, give us 2 seconds. We'll get to your lineup question here in a second. All right, so let's go to the next guy on the list. It's Greg coming in at 128.6. Not a bad week at all. Third, Sam Darnold putting in work and the combo with Justin Jefferson. That's 60. That was half your points right there. Damn. Kyron Williams had a good day as well. Just had some duds with Chig and Westbrook-Akine. We both kind of had that issue. So the question is LeDuc cementing his ultimate DFS? Not quite yet. He's number 2 this week. Kirk Cousins, I shouldn't say Kirk Cousins. Isaac Rangdo had a good day. Rashad White, we all went with Westbrook-Akine. Unfortunately, he kind of put that dud for most of us. Got Mooney, JSN in there as well. So a great lineup, but it wasn't good enough because here I come down the stretch. I also had Garendo, Chase Brown, and I also had Kyron Williams. I also had Darnell Mooney. K-Dot and Baker Mayfield, I think, was the difference between me and LeDuc's lineup because at the QB position. So for this week, and now I got 4, so we're getting close to the end here. I got to at least get a couple more in.
And his name is John C.
So that's the only way I'm catching LeDuc. All right, I'll talk about my DFS lineup real quick, and then afterwards try to fix this damn camera. Bo Nix this week. I actually was kind of going back and forth on the QB position because I had Njoku in here. Knowing that he wasn't playing, I put in Pitts, who was a much bigger value. So I had $1,000 more, but I ended up putting it more in the flex position. But they're going against the Colts, Bo Nix. They're 23rd against fantasy QBs. Should see a decent day from Bo Nix, either in the air and on the ground. So I like that option, and he's a good value there. David Montgomery against the Bills, who are 30th against fantasy QB or running backs. I'm sorry. And you could just expect, like I said, I'd want anyone in this Bills Lions matchup. It's just going to be a good day all the way around. Chuba Hubbard, no more Jonathan Brooks. Dallas 27th against running backs. It's going to be a lot of Chuba today. So I like that. And he comes at a good value at 6,500. Keenan Allen. So this is one of those crap dice rolls where you could get, DJ Moore. I can't think of the freaking rookie's name. I can see it, but I can't. Adunze. There he goes in my head. Or Keenan Allen, because the Vikings, they're dead last against fantasy receivers. So it's kind of a roll of the dice with this one. But, I think either way, any of these receivers would do decent for you today. Amari Cooper. I kind of agree with the Bandy with the flex. Again, going back to that theory, get anyone in this matchup. And Detroit is 29th against fantasy receivers. So I like Cooper at his mark today. Adam Thielen, it's funny because it was last season where he was hot in the beginning and then faded off. Well, this season, he's getting hot at the end. Still in that same matchup against Dallas, who's 21st against fantasy receivers. So I do like it. Mentioned Pitts earlier. Vegas is 30th against fantasy tight end, so I don't think you can go wrong there. James Conner against the Patriots. They're 19th against fantasy running backs. So I like the matchup regardless. And the Commanders against I don't even know who led Saints, they're 3,400 this week. So you can expect some decent plays for the Commanders defense. All right, let's get on. I'll show you LeDuc's real quick. He's got Jameson Winston in this lineup this week with the combo of Jerry Jeudy. Again, that scares me a little with the weather conditions, but maybe I'm making too much of it. Brian Robinson Jr., Ramondre Stevenson, if I could speak, Alvin Kamara, Broncos D, Jonnu Smith. He also had Njoku in and switched it for Jonnu Smith. So something to pay attention to. All right, Fred, I'm going to kick it to you, and you tell me about your ultimate DFS lineup.
All right, so here we go back with the Kyler Murray, Trey McBride combo. They've been working well for me all season, so I definitely went that way. As you know, all season we've been going at the flex spot with the tight end position. I just feel it's a better value. I felt that since they're playing with the Browns, I think I wanted the big man across the middle, so I took Kelsey this week. And by the way the weather goes, the short pass is going to go to Kelsey. That'd be great. I didn't spend as much this week on the running back position. I've taken Dowdle because he's been getting hot lately, and they are playing Carolina. I think they'll run the ball a lot. And then, of course, Bigsby, as I said earlier, it's wet. It's nasty out here. You got a rookie core. I mean, you have your backup quarterback is in. You definitely want to run the ball as much as possible. I might regret starting Garrett Wilson this week. We're going to find out due to the rain and the weather. I think same thing. Devontae Smith's going to have a big week. That's how you fix things, by feeding your wide receiver. And of course, I ran with Zay Flowers just because I felt the value of 6,000 was good. And I think Lamar really is going to take this win this week. And then I just went all out with the Cardinals this week. I feel like they're going to have a great game.
Plus, it was only 3,000. I like it. Greg, how about your ultimate DFS lineup?
Well, I went with Bo Nix. I like the matchup against Indiana, and he does well with his legs too, running the ball. I spent some money on Derrick Henry against the lowly Giants, and whichever report that is going to be some rain up there, I think it's going to be a rock'em sock'em kind of game with running the ball. And I also went with Rico. The Carolina's dead last against running backs. So, and Dallas is starting to feed Rico down the stretch. So I like Rico against Carolina. I went with Pacheco in my flex because with the weather, like you said, Jason, I think it's going to be a sloppy game. I think Pacheco's getting better as the season goes on towards the end of it, and they're going to start feeding him a lot more against Cleveland. I also went with Marvin Harrison Jr. I like the matchup against New England. Kyler Murray's been looking for him a little bit more. I also went with D-Hop. I like D-Hop in the red zone for Kansas City. Him and Mahomes is getting that connection. So I look like when they get down closer to the red zone, it's either going to be Pacheco or Hopkins. So I'm playing 50-50. Hopefully that works out for me. And as well as Minnesota's defense has been playing this year, they're bad against fantasy wide receivers. So I like DJ Moore in this match because if Chicago gets down, Caleb Williams is going to be throwing that ball as long as he doesn't get sacked too much. But I like the matchup there. And Tucker Kraft, I just like his the way he's been playing with Jordan Love. I like the going down the stretch. I like Tucker Kraft against the matchup with Seattle. And I'm trying to save a little money, but I think the Bucks against the Chargers is going to be a good one. I know Justin Herbert is not 100%. They don't have their running back, J.K. Dobbins. The receivers have not been as not good as we would like them to be in LA. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks. The coach down there loves to blitz, and against quarterback that's not 100%, I think that's gonna work out in the Bucks' favor.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right, Justin, if you are in, it looks like there we go. That's you now. All right, let's go to your ultimate DFS lineup.
All right. So, as I've been the jobber all season long, I've decided to take a long shot with this one and just go throw out the home runs, and that's Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I spent up on those guys, hoping that they replicate last week, and hopefully they replicate their entire season, and I can finally get another W up there. But the rest of my lineup, I was actually very happy with. I got a couple pieces from the Bills-Lions game. You see James Cook there. I think he's due for a big game considering he didn't have his big game last week. Jameson Williams, I've already talked about how I think he could be very impactful in this game. Then you got Sam Laporta at 4,400. Can't tell you enough about how I think that Sam Laporta could have a huge game, and 4,400 is just it's too cheap. Me and Fred have been talking about this a lot. I know he's not here right now, but the double tight end is it's so money. If you can get two players that have like real serious 6 catch to touchdown value at under $8,000 or at around $8,500, then I think it's absolutely money. And then, it was kind of a stretch on this one. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, obviously I came into the week thinking it was going to be Derek Carr, but this Jake Haener kid comes out and confidently says, hey, man, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to let it rip. I'm just going to go out there and just throw the ball around, sling it around. And you know what? That made me feel a little bit more confident because Valdez-Scantling, MVS, he is known for one thing only, and that's going out there and catching the balls when the quarterback just lets it rip. So hopefully that comes through for me this week. And then, Rico Dowdle, it's pretty self-explanatory. You're going against the worst rushing attack or worst rushing defense in the league. So I just think that, come on, you got to have a touchdown if you're Rico Dowdle. Continue this breakout. You're going to be a league winner, and then you're going to be irrelevant next year. And then I'm going to finish it up with the Dallas Cowboys defense, 2,800. I thought it's a pretty good deal. One thing the Cowboys have been doing good, and this little streak that they've had post Dak Prescott, it's been playing good defense. I think Michael Parsons can get a couple sacks. I know Trayvon Diggs just went out for the season, but this is a team that's always finds, corners that know how to go out and get the ball. So I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboy defense against the Panthers in this one.
All right. I like it. Decent lineup. No jobber this week. I can feel it in my bones. Justin, since we're still on you, my friend, we do have a lineup question here from Custo Hockey. He's in a spot. Does he play Taylor in his flex, or does he play Jonnu Smith? He's also playing Bijan or Chase Brown. So Jonathan Taylor, I can't believe we'd be asking this question earlier this season.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jonathan Taylor or Jonnu Smith today? Assuming this is PPR.
And you know what? Is it PPR?
I'm assuming. I would assume that's why he's questioning it.
Yeah, well, I mean, and this is not even a hard question anymore because it's just you really think about it. Jonathan Taylor has been kind of, squished in this offense with Anthony Richardson being a rusher, and it's kind of been forced. Jonnu Smith, though, has been playing lights out, man. He has just been nonstop. Even last week when you thought he wasn't going to get anything, he goes and gets the game-winning touchdown. I'll say this. If it's PPR, I feel safe with Jonnu Smith. If it's non-PPR or half PPR, so this is speaking directly to you, Custo, whatever your format is, if it's half PPR or non-PPR standard, I'd go Jonathan Taylor, but I really do feel comfortable with Jonnu Smith if it's PPR.
So who did he get the winning touchdown again? I forgot.
No, what's that?
Who was the team he got the winning touchdown against? I forgot.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right, Custo. We appreciate your question, my friend. Man, it's a tough one. That is really tough because Jonnu Smith has been, like Justin mentioned, has been money all season long, and Jonathan Taylor's kind of been up and down, a roller coaster, if you will. And not for nothing, going against the Broncos, who's pretty. I think let me check out. I forgot their stat. I pulled up the wrong one, but I think they're like 5th or 6th against fantasy running backs. So,
put a shirt on.
What happened?
Freddie got streakers in the back of his camera, bro. Put a shirt on, bro. Look, oh God.
Oh God. We're off YouTube forever. All right, let's get to our picks for the week.
We're on a mission, guys. We're on a mission, guys.
Should have had a graphic up for that. All right. Might have to do a screenshot for later. Let's talk about our picks for last week. And somebody making a late season run. The juice is loose. 11-2 last week. So was LeDuc. I was one behind, thankfully, and our dunces, Fred and Justin, are still chilling in the back at 8-5. Let's look at the overall picture right now. 144.64. I am still in the lead, but only 4 ahead of LeDuc. and only 5 against Greg. We got Justin and Fred, our two dunces, in the back at 132.76. So it's still anyone's race right now, except for Justin and Greg. All right, Justin and Fred. All right, let's go to our first game of the week. It's America's team, the Miami Dolphins, going against the Houston Texans. Houston's owned Miami 8-3 all time. Last time they played was in 2022. Miami won 30-15. They've won 2 in a row in the series. Houston's favored by 3. The over-under is 45.5. Greg, we'll go to you on this one first. Who do you like in this one?
We're not laying the hammer down. We're not taking the Texans on this one. CJ Stroud, you got these great receivers out there in Texas. Miami ain't gonna do shit. Your season's over. Going with the Texans. Lay the hammer down. Lay the hammer.
Just a hating. Fred?
You got to go with the Texans. They're at home. They're just an all-around better team.
Yeah, that's your problem and your problem all year. You keep doubting how good Miami is. I mean, again, they had Tua hurt. That's why we weren't as good. But Justin, who do you think wins and why?
Yeah, I have to agree with Jason on this one. I don't know where the Texans have been, but this is not the Texans we thought we were going to see. And Miami is actually playing with a little fire under their gut. So hopefully this one's a win for me, the other dunce. So hopefully, Jay, you rolling with the dunces wins you out this time. So I'm on Miami.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried. As soon as I laid this out, I was like, oh, no, this could be a big L for us today. But you know what? We're going with America's team today. I talked about on Friday, I don't see this being one of those big Devon Achane days, but I do see this get right game for Tyreek Hill. They don't play in that zone defense that's been such trouble for our offense. So I think you're going to see some big plays for Tyreek down the line today. All right, let's go to the next one. Cowboys at the Panthers. Cowboys lead the series 11-5. They did play last year, and the Dallas Cowboys won 33-10. They've won 2 in a row in the series. Carolina is favored by 3, and the over-under is 42.5. Fred, who you like in this and why?
He had to look behind him first to see if anybody
You're still on mute. You're still on mute.
You're muted, Fred. You're muted.
On mute. Tell your boyfriend to unmute you.
You're muted.
Yeah, I think you hit. There you go. Now you're not.
You're paying more attention to the streaker than the show, bro.
I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. I just think they're still in the hunt for the playoffs. So, I mean, enough props to Carolina. They've been playing good lately, but Dallas is still, I think they beat them today.
Yeah. Justin, who you like?
I like the Panthers in this game. I think the Panthers honestly have been playing the best ball for a while now. And I think, when you go out there, you prove a lot of teams wrong that, you're not just going to be a stepping stone. I think when a team that comes in that automatically thinks you're going to be a stepping stone, you get stepped on instead. I think the Cowboys get stepped on in this game. I think the Panthers go out there and put not a shellacking, but a good game up.
No half stepping by Justin today, that's for sure. OJ, who you like?
The only other team that's lost games that should have won is the Jets, right? You go in the game and you're like, man, the Jets are going to win this game, and they lose. It's the same thing with the Cowboys. I think the Panthers are on a roll. I like the way Bryce Young has been playing. I like they've been running the ball. And they almost won that game last week, man. If Leggett would have held on to that ball, they would have beat the Eagles. Like, the Panthers are playing good football. I'm going with Carolina. The Cowboys are going to find a way to lose the game again.
I think you're right on that assessment. Justin was saying it as you were talking, though. The Bengals were, I think, probably a little more to that because how many damn games have they, the opposite of the Kansas City Chiefs, in fact, losing to them in the same type manner. I hate to say it, but I feel like, the Cowboys, because of what happened last week, are going to come in here fired up and pull this off in Carolina. But I think it's kind of a crapshoot either way. We could see a good fantasy output from this matchup with both defenses not playing so great. So I do like the Cowboys in this one. All right, Greg, since we went to you, we got a lineup question here for John. Thank you so much for your question. He wants to flex 2 of these guys, Bucky, Rashad, Zay, Pollard, and that's a half PPR from Njoku doesn't play. Does he go Stone Smart or Dalton Schultz? So let's give me flex 2 of those options he's got there.
Well, I heard Tony Pollard is going to play, so I'll definitely go with Tony Pollard in that situation. Rashad White and Bucky Irvin, man, that's tough because Bucky got the back injury, and not sure if he's going to get as much carries. No matter how explosive he's been this season so far, it's going to be tough with the back injury. And then Zay, they're playing the lowly Giants, man. And there's half a point PPR. You know what? I'm gonna go with Zay, and I will go with Tony Pollard for those 2 flexes. And if Njoku doesn't play, definitely go with Dalton Schultz against the lowly Miami Dolphins. Like Jason says, they give up points to the tight end. So go with Dalton Schultz.
It's consistent year after year. Stone Smart's not a bad play neither. So I like that in your lineup.
The Dolphins.
I think hate to go against America's team, but I think I'd also go Dalton Schultz there as well. All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate all your comments and questions. Keep them coming. Thank you, John. Once again, we appreciate you. Let's go to the disgusting game of the day. Jets at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Blech. Jags lead the series 9-8. Last time they played was in 2022. The Jags won 19-3. Jets are favored by 3. The over-under is 41.5. Fred, who do you like in this one?
What the hell?
All right.
Ladies, man.
Thank you for the man boobies this morning. All right, Justin, who you like?
You know, I gotta tell you, the fucking ownership company should give me fucking product and everything like that for how much I have to rep this goddamn piece of shit team that still doesn't win and leads in the 3rd quarter and makes my record look like shit. So you know what? I'm still going with the Jets with this one, but I'm telling you, Jason, this is the last one. If they can't beat the Jaguars, this is the last time I will ever say the Jets ever.
Okay.
Ever.
We'll see. Greg, who you like?
Justin, I feel you, and I'm a Jets fan, so I pick them out of pure loyalty. And if we don't beat Jacksonville today with Mac Jones as the quarterback, I got to question what team I'm rooting for next year, man, because I can't keep doing this. It's like a bad, toxic relationship. I keep coming back. I keep getting punched in the gut, slapped in the face, and baby, I still love you. And I keep getting hurt. But I'm going with the Jets, man.
Indeed. So I thought we were going to hammer this one down, but LeDuc is going with the Jaguars in this matchup. So even though he ain't here, let's give it to him. The Wolf in this matchup. I would love to hear why he thinks Jacksonville is going to win. Maybe he's still got Mac Jones fever from the Patriots fan or something. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, we can go to yeah.
I got to start heading to the stadium. I love y'all.
Love y'all too. I love y'all too. Love you too, Fred. Have fun today. Good luck. Hopefully you finally break the curse today, Fred. Break the Jets. You go into their game.
Today, man.
Get a W. All right, let's go to the next one. Bengals at Titans. Tennessee leads the series 41-37-1. Last time they played was in 2023. Tennessee won 27-3. The line is the Bengals by 5.5. The over-under is 46.5. Greg, who you like in this one?
You know, like we spoke about teams losing games, and I think this is the get right week for like the Jets and the Bengals, and so I'm gonna go with the Bengals, man. Like, come on, Joe Burrow. The dude is on pace to throw over 40 TDs this season, and you guys can't get a win. You gotta beat the Titans, man. So I'm going with the Bengals out of pure praying for them to get something right this season. You got right. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. You gotta win, man. Like, come on.
Put the hammer down for the Cincinnati Bengals. We all like them this week. I feel you on that. I think this is their get right game this week and get a W on the board. All right, let's go to the next one that we don't need to waste a lot of time on. The Baltimore Ravens at the Giants. Baltimore's favored by, the series. Baltimore leads 5-3. Last time they played was in 2022, and the Giants won 24-20. Baltimore is favored by 16.5, and the over-under is 42.5. Justin, who wins?
Hammer it down. Baltimore Ravens, 100%. Hey, hammer it down. And Derrick Henry, I think Derrick Henry is going to get a record today. Is he getting a record today? Is he getting the all-time Ravens touchdown record today?
I mean, he probably should. Probably get about 10 today.
I think Jamal Lewis held it with 14. So I think Derrick Henry's getting that record today.
Yeah, he might get the individual game record too today. The way that looks like
300 yards.
Since we're on you still, Justin, let's go. We got another question from Brian Lohman. Thank you so much. Love the profile picture as well. What do you think? Stone. Yeah, Jesus, I'm gonna say Stone Andrews, Stone or Andrews in PPR. I can't even spit it out.
Yeah. So I think this is a very interesting predicament here, especially with Ladd McConkey having his issues, possibly getting on the field. He's a warm-up decision right now. I think I would still probably stick with Andrews because I have a feeling at some point they're going to try and get Andrews just in the end zone period. He's been having a good stretch of weeks here. But you know what? I'll tell you this. Stone Smart, I think that what I saw last week and knowing that they're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I don't think you really have too big of an issue with this one. I think they're both going to be 15-point scorers regardless. So, whatever you deem fit, my friend. If you want extra points, I'd go Stone Smart. If you want just the solid points, I'd go Andrews.
I'm going to lean actually on Stone Smart in this one, and only because there's two factors for this. One, I feel like the Ravens will be up enough that they're not going to be passing a ton. And oddly enough, the Giants the Giants are really good against fantasy tight ends, number 2 in the league right now. So that's where I would be leaning, only because of, for those two reasons anyway. Thank you, Brian. We appreciate you. Cap for life. Good football today. I missed this earlier. Dolphins need this game today. You're right. They need every damn game this week. But I feel like, not to get on a rant, but I feel like, I'm not as hyped up for it because I feel like even if they won the last 4, somehow got in the playoffs, they just end up getting one and done any damn way because that's what they do in big games. So anyway, let me get off my soapbox.
At least you get another week, right? At least you get another week.
Yeah, exactly. At least there's still potential. Chiefs at the Browns. Chiefs lead the series 15-11-2. Last time they played was in 2021. The Chiefs won 33-20. They won 5 in a row in the matchup. Chiefs are favored by 4. The over-under is 41.5. So, Greg, who you like in this one?
I like the Chiefs, man, but I think it's going to be, like I said earlier, one of those nasty knock-em-out football games with Pacheco and Chubb just running the ball, muddy jerseys, everything. But Jameis is going to throw an interception, and that's going to be the reason why the Browns lose. So I'm going with the Chiefs.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong saying that at all. Justin, I thought we were going to hammer this one, but Justin, who do you like and why?
Everybody has that one upset before the playoffs that they just go, how did that happen? And that's what's going to happen today. The Browns are going to make the Chiefs go, how did we lose to Jameis Winston and the Browns? And it's because there's going to be good defense, and the Chiefs have been incredibly overrated this year. I think it finally catches up to them. I mean, you can't just doink it in off the side of a crossbar and just have – how far up Patrick Mahomes' ass is that horseshoe?
Far.
Because
far.
That man is as lucky as it gets this year. He has been playing horrible football, and somehow the 4-leaf clover is still attached to his butt. He must have that thing tattooed on there.
Count him up.
How bad Patrick Mahomes is playing football, I would not pick Jameis Winston over Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely.
I'm picking the Browns over Patrick Mahomes, not just Jameis. Garrett, that's everybody.
We got another question since we're in here, Greg. We got Stephanie Aguilar. She wants to flex either Dowdle or Sutton in a full PPR today. Ooh, that's some good choices. What do you think?
Those are some good choices, but I can't, dismiss the matchup that Dowdle has against Carolina and that ranked last against running fantasy running back. So I would definitely go with Rico. Rico's been on a little hot streak lately with with the Cowboys. So definitely I would go with Rico.
Yeah, they've been feeding the ball to Rico, and as Greg alluded to, it is a great matchup. So I would definitely ride Dowdle in that one, even though Sutton's not a bad play neither against the Colts today. So, but either way, you're good. But I like Dowdle a little bit better. Yeah, almost lost to the Panthers. Agreed. All right, so thank you, Stephanie, for that. We appreciate you. Let's go on to our next one. The Commanders at the Saints. Commanders lead the overall series 17-11. Last time they played was in 21. Saints won 33-22. They won 3 in a row in the series. Washington's favored by 7.5. The over-under is 43.5. Justin, who you like and why?
The Commanders. I thought at first this game was going to be interesting, but I think the Saints lacking a quarterback might just be lacking the drive. And I think that the Commanders really need to make a statement going into the playoffs. This is a big game to make a statement. Jaden Daniels goes off. He goes ham sandwich. Terry McLaurin goes ham sandwich as well. I like this game for the Commanders.
Hammer it down for Greg's new team in 2025. The Commanders this game against the Saints with Derek Carr's injury. I just don't see them mounting enough offense to beat the Commanders today. That was pretty easy. The Battle of Pennsylvania today. This is an interesting game. Pittsburgh at Philly. It's too bad Flanders not on the show anymore. I'd just love to ask him what jersey he's wearing today. Philly leads the series 49-29-3. Last time they played was in 2022. The Eagles won 35-13. Eagles are favored by 5.5. The over-under is 43. Greg, who you like in this one?
Man, this was a tough one, man. This was tough. Maybe Jane don't kill me, but I went with the Steelers, man. I just like the type of football they've been playing, going down the stretch. And the Eagles with I don't know, this issue with Hurts and AJ Brown and their relationship off the field and all of this mess. I don't know if that's going to trickle into the field. So I had to go with the Steelers. Mike Tomlin always finds a way to win. So sorry, Coop, but I went with the Steelers.
Justin, who you like and why?
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with Greg on this one. The Steelers are just a better coached team. I mean, it's just you see it in the fundamentals. The Eagles are the flash, and the Steelers are the fundamentals, and I think the fundamentals are going to win today.
You don't
want to be on the couch. We get it.
Eagles. Just say it, Coop. Went with the Eagles.
Luckily, we have the our little one is at mother-in-law's right now, so she is actually out. So I am free to pick the Steelers if I wanted, but I did go with the Eagles today, and only because I feel like, and I agree with everything you're saying, and watching. Obviously, I watch all the Eagles games, and I've seen Jalen Hurts just not make good decisions. I mean, there's been a lot of times where he's in the pocket, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it just some of the stuff he does doesn't make any sense to me sometimes, but. However, I think the biggest difference is both of these defenses are really good, and because the Steelers are lacking that big playmaker with George Pickens, I think that to me is the difference because Eagles are fully healthy with a lot of playmakers on the field, and I just don't. Other than George Pickens, I don't see Najee Harris doing much today. The Eagles' run D is really good. So receiver-wise, who's going to make a difference? Pat Freiermuth? I mean, really? So I'm going with the Eagles. In this matchup, LeDuc obviously agrees, and luckily the dunces there at the back are going Steelers, so I feel safe. So sorry, Greg. All right, let's go to the next one. The Bucks at the Chargers.
Greg, we got it this week. We got it.
Yeah, it's always it always ends up playing out at some point. Bucks at the Chargers. Chargers lead the series 8-4. Last time they played was in 2020. The Bucks won 38-31. Hope it's like that today. 3 in a row they've won in the series. Chargers are favored by 2.5. The over-under is 45. Justin, who you like in this and why?
Exciting game. I wish I could pick both teams to win because I really like what both teams are doing. I'm going to go with the Bucks. I think the Bucks need it a little bit more in this one. I think the Chargers are fine, but I think the Bucks need that playoff push. They need that little game, that extra game. So I think that Baker comes out, has a hell of a game. Herbert matches him, but it comes down to like a field goal, and the Bucks win.
Greg, who do you like?
I think the injuries are just catching up with the Chargers right now. McConkey's going to be out. Their tight end's going to be out. Their J.K. Dobbs is on the IR. Justin Herbert is not 100%. So I just think with the Bucks defense and how Todd Bowles coaches and they run the ball, and Baker's been playing great this season. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
So that's why I did go to the Chargers because of the Bucks defense is so trash. However, I feel what you're saying because I literally just mentioned George Pickens and the lack of offense with the Steelers. Kind of the same retrospect of what you're saying. The Chargers are lacking the playmakers. However, they could get my 5'7", injury prone ass out on the field, and I could probably score a touchdown against the Bucks because that secondary is trash.
True.
So to me, like the Chargers, and I think the biggest difference is the defense and not on the Buck side. On the Charger side, that defense is pretty rocking for sure. So
Man, I'm in
Justin
trouble,
and
boy.
Greg are going with the Bucks. Ooh, this could get
Cool, we're in
interesting.
trouble because they're like split. Him and Justin are split on these picks, so it's gonna go either way for one of us, bro.
Yeah, something's going to happen. We'll see next week. It'll be interesting. All right, let's go to the game of the day. The Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions. Buffalo leads this series 7-4-1. Last time they played was in 2022. Buffalo won 28-25. They won actually 4 in a row in the series and 6 out of the last 7 against the Lions. Detroit, however, is favored by 2.5. The over-under is 54.5. Justin, who you liking this and why?
I'm going MVP Josh Allen. Buffalo Bills time. I think that they're going to have 2 victories over the 2 potential Super Bowl teams, making the playoffs that much more interesting when they get there. I think that's how you set up a storyline. That's how the NFL rigs it. That's how they do it. Let's go. NFL is now the new WWE. They're setting everything up.
Yeah, I mean, there are always storylines. I've said that since I was a little kid. I always feel like there's some kind of storyline somehow makes its way to a game or to the season. So I agree with you. But what do you think, Greg? Who you think wins this one?
I went with the Lions, man. I like the Lions. They're well coached. I can't pick against Montgomery and Gibbs and the Bills, man. They gave up like 40 something points last week. The defense is not going to show up. I think the Lions are going to cakewalk this one. That's my feeling. I think they're going to go in there. They're going to hold Josh Allen, make him Clark Kent, not Superman this week. And I think the Lions are going to pull it out.
I don't necessarily think all right, so my analysis for this is I can see a scenario, and this is a scenario I see, where the Lions pound the rock against this Buffalo Bills front seven, which is not good, and keep Josh Allen off the field, thusly not allowing him to get into a rhythm. So that's where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to go Lions. This is probably one of the best lone wolves, however, of the year because either one of these teams could win this game. But let's count it up for Justin.
Okay, Justin.
The Bills this week. I mean, like I said, it's probably one of the better lone wolves that you could get because this game really could go either way. But like I said, I see that scenario where you see a lot of Montgomery, a lot of Gibbs, and not a lot of Josh Allen on the field. But we'll see how it plays out. I'm really excited for that one. All right, let's go Broncos. Colts at Broncos. Colts lead the series 15-14. Last time they played was in 2022. The Colts won in overtime, 12-1. They won 2 in a row, or 12-9. Sorry, they won 2 in a row in the series. Broncos are favored today by 4.5. The over/under is 43.5. Greg, who you like in this one?
I like the Broncos, man. I like what Sean Payton's doing with them. The Colts, I just don't trust Anthony Richardson. I mean, I know he's been playing better the last 3, 2 out of the last 3 games. He's been over 20 points in fantasy. But I just think Bo Nix and that offense and that defense that Denver has is going to cause problems for Anthony Richardson. So I'm definitely going to go with the Broncos.
Nice. We got a comment in here. Good morning, the Conscious Machine 413. Morning, man. Nice to see you, channel. If OGs like myself won money in Sporting News Fantasy as a middle school kid in the mid-90s, I feel you, man. That was the back in the day. We'd get the stats off the USA Today and play that thing. He said with 2 friends, one if parents sign us up. I love it. Thank you for the comments. That's great. Absolutely love it. All right. So, yeah, hammer down the Broncos. I know you kind of went into it. I mean, I just don't see a scenario where, this defense for the Broncos is just good today. So I'm feeling it. I think we're all just feeling the Broncos today, period. Let's go to New England at the Cardinals. New England leads the series 9-7. Last time they played was in 2022. The Patriots won 27-13. They won 3 in a row and 7 out of the last 8 in this matchup. Arizona, though, is favored by 6. The over-under is 46.5. Justin, who you like?
I believe I picked the Cardinals in this one. Is that correct? Cardinals and the Patriots. I also, actually, I've been trying to get your attention for a second. We got a question on Twitter, and I wanted to put it to you guys.
Well, you've been black for quite a while, so I can't see it anyway.
Oh, no worries. This is from Victor Flores on Twitter. He has half-point PPR, pick 2. He wants Nico Collins, Malik Neighbors, JSN, or Jordan Addison. What do you guys think?
What was the question?
It's pick 2, half-point PPR. Nico Collins, Malik Neighbors, JSN, or Jordan Addison.
I like JSN.
I like that too.
Malik Neighbors. I mean, Baltimore's defense is secondary is and they may have to pass to catch up, but I don't trust Danny, Tommy, whoever DeVito's the quarterback for the Giants right now. So, JSN and who's the other one?
It was,
JSN, Addison, or Nico Collins. So do you go Addison, who's been streaking, or do you go Nico Collins, who's the dominant wide receiver?
I like Addison and JSN.
Okay. I would lean on Nico on that just because, but Nico has just been money all season, bro. That's not all I'm saying. I know who he's playing, but man, bro, I can expect some points in that matchup. So I think you got to go Nico with that.
I think I'd probably go the commissioner's route on that one too. I think I'd go with the ball dominant guy, the one that's going to for sure get the ball, even though I know Addison's been fucking money.
And you've made it here with Nico.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, but the good thing is you got good options, so maybe you can flex one of those guys. But I'm feeling Nico today for sure. Yeah, I feel you. Concept she used to tally standings and stats on paper. Absolutely. Like I said, get the USA Today. Amazing to think there was a career in fantasy football. Get that money. He agrees too. He thinks Nico is dominant. Thank you, Conscious Machine. Appreciate you. All right, so full PPR. Let's go to Justin, since Greg just answered the last one. Full PPR, you'll pick 2 of these guys. Oh, wow. Great options here, Evan. Mike Evans, Chuba, or JSN?
I think I'll go with Chuba and JSN in this one. And it's because Chuba's got a great matchup as a runner. Jonathan Brooks just hit the IR. Miles Sanders probably hit the road a long time ago. And then JSN has just been unstoppable, man. Bring DK Metcalf in, and you still got to say this guy's name because he is still the force in that Seattle team. Really like that. I think you did a great job in drafting because all 3 of those guys are definitely going to get you to a championship.
Yeah, man. It's too bad you can't flex Mike Evans today because, wow.
Also, I got a question for the Conscious Machine. Do you still keep one of those leagues just for the nostalgia factor?
Absolutely not. I can answer that for you. STL Shock, what up, guys? Thanks for joining us, my brother. Sister, appreciate you being in today. We got L5 Clay. I can't even read this morning. Which 3 should I take, Greg? Brees, Aaron Jones, Daddle, and Charbonnet. So he needs 3 of those.
So listen, Charbonnet's been balling out every time Kenneth Walker goes down. So Kenneth Walker is definitely out today. So I'm going with Charbonnet, going with Daddle. Brees is dealing with that knee injury that I don't trust, and it's raining in Jacksonville. If you're old as me, when it rains, your knee feels worse. So I'm not going with Brees. So Aaron Jones, Daddle, and Charbonnet.
All right. I like that. Conscious Machine says, like and sub. Appreciate you. He'll be listening in. We appreciate that, my brother. He needs to choose between Watson and Dobbs today. What do you think, Justin? He also needs, does he trust Algier or grab Justice or Jaleel?
That's a tough one. The Dobbs and Watson one is tough because they literally, Green Bay has just been picking a wide receiver every single week. I'd probably maybe just stick with Watson just because of the recency factor. And then as far as what were the running backs again? It was Jaleel.
It's he has Algier. Does he trust Algier, or does he grab Justice Hill or Jaleel McLaughlin?
I think I would just grab Justice Hill, because Justice Hill, I think that they're gonna get Derrick Henry the record, and then they're gonna probably sit him, and I think that's gonna open up for Justice Hill to have a nice back end garbage time day.
I mean, I could see that scenario. I like Algier though. I actually ended up with the bike apocalypse a couple of weeks ago, or if that was last week, whatever that was, had to play Bijan and Algier, and they both ended up having decent days. So I mean, it's not a horrible option. To say the least. But I think, as Justin's alluded to, if you're looking for some big upside, Justice Hill could be that guy for you, because he does break big plays when he's on the damn field. All right, let's go. Greg and Daryl, he needs to pick two of these full PPR: Marvin Harrison, Waddle, Cooper, or Josh Downs.
Well, you guys been talking all day. You want to get in on that Bills, Lions game. So I like Amari Cooper. Isn't Josh Downs? He's injured, right?
I think I don't think he's playing. He is suiting up. Okay, that's right. Brian did say that. That's right.
I still don't trust him against that Broncos defense, so I'm gonna go with Amari Cooper. Of course, I'm not picking Waddle, and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, I talked about it on Friday. I think you're going to see more Tyreek Day today.
Waddle's have an off season, man.
Well, yeah, it's up and down with him. Like as a Dolphins fan, every time he gets tackled, he gets up and he waddles his ass off the field. I can see why his last name. And I'm like, bro, it's football. Every play, does your ankle hurt? Geez, oh please. Anyway, but yeah, I feel you. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. today, and I like Cooper as well. So I think I like that. Justin, thoughts on Pollard or Breece in a standard league today? That's from Josh.
I like Pollard a little bit more. Kind of what Greg was saying. If Breece is injured, I like Breece, but I don't know if I want to full on trust him if he's that banged up and they're already thinking about it. If you're thinking about it, they'll probably go Braylon Allen, mix everybody in a little bit. If Tony Pollard's good to go, he's good to go. Just put him in. And, this Bengals defense is very gettable.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely is. Concha said, I think to answer your question, he says, the home league is basically the original. Guys have come and gone, but it's literally the same league. Absolutely. But he ain't doing it on paper no more. We know that, right? Thank you, L5. We appreciate you, my friend. I think when you were going off about Breece, Josh was like, yeah, I think you already answered that question. Thanks, Josh, for your question. We appreciate you. Let's go to Steel Shock. I know I'm saying this all wrong because I can't hardly see anything. Anyway, let's go to Justin. We'll get off Greg with the Breece questions. Would you start Breece over Dowdle, Higgins, or Ridley if healthy? And he's leaning no.
No, none of them. Yeah, because I think all of them have a pathway to a higher scoring game. Dowdle easily, Higgins easily, and Ridley definitely will get the opportunities.
Absolutely. I like that. Concha says, I'm obviously in the playoff. Obviously. I've known these guys since elementary school. Oh, man, that's too cool. Ford is available also, but I'm not playing against that Chiefs D. Feel you there. Walker out. He's struggling at RB2. Opponent has Sincere. I kind of like them both playing Monday Night Football. I agree with that also. But he wants to know Algier versus Sincere. What do you think?
I like Algier. I mean, like you said, Coop, you played both of them the other weekend. They did pretty decent for you, Algier and Bijan. And Algier, he gets his shares of red zone carries, which is surprising to me. So I will go with Algier over Sincere. I just don't trust Raiders, man. I don't trust him. I'm sorry. Sincere's going to get the bulk of the carries, but he's going to go, 15 carries for 50 yards maybe? So, no, I'll go with Algier.
I am absolutely not Steel Shock. There's no way I'm starting Waddle over Higgins or Ridley.
Hell no.
Not today, not in this matchup. Probably, way. Calvin Ridley and Will Levis have been hooking up, and they got a good matchup with the Bengals. I'm riding both of those guys today. Waddle's on my bench. Appreciate you, Josh, as always. He does have Isaiah Davis. Conscious Machine says, case Breece sits.
I like Isaiah Davis.
Drop his ass if Breece is in. I feel you with that. But in Dynasty, I end up picking up Isaiah Davis because that boy is looking like
I like him
indeed. Kevin Wilson, the professor of Belly Up Sports. What's up, fellas? Ready for some football? Make sure you go check out Kevin's articles. He's got starts and sits articles all the time. Go check out Kevin with Belly Up Sports. Got a lot. Oh, St. Louis. I guess it's St. Louis. STL stock. Yeah, I got my bad. It's early, bro. My bad. Some explain to me how my phone autocorrects I and you constantly while technology. All right. Thank you, sir. All right, Daryl. Last one, Justin, for the questions that we got in the queue here. Montgomery or Daddle in full PPR today? Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I would find a way to start either one of them.
Right.
But I'll tell you this. The Lions love David Montgomery so goddamn much that they're going to get him that ball. And you know this Buffalo defense is not good against the run. 100% if it comes down to this is one of the exceptions I will put over Dowdle. It's David Montgomery.
Yeah, man. That's boy, you got some great options in that one, man. Great.
All I'm going to say, if Derrick Henry's your RB1, you can go with either one of these, boys. Start both of them. And you don't got Derrick Henry or Kamara, I would definitely start both of them in your lineup.
Bro, if you got a flex spot and you question a wide receiver, you're putting one of these motherfuckers in there.
Hell yeah.
Real quick, he said first time STL Shock want to know first time who's y'all's teams. Well, I like America's team, the Miami Dolphins. Greg's a Jets fan, and Justin is a Niner fan. So there you
Greg
go.
is going to be a Commanders fan by 2025.
Before this season is up. By the way, with all those questions in, I forgot to mention we were talking about the Arizona Patriots game. LeDuc, of course, the only lone wolf in that one, probably would have been a hammer if he wasn't trying to be a homer at the very least. All right, let's finish things up with the picks. I know we got a couple more comments in here. We'll get to that in a second. Packers at Seahawks. Packers lead the series 15-9. Last time they played was in 2021. Packers won 17-0. They won 2 in a row and 4 of the last 5 in the series. Packers are favored by 2.5, over under 46.5. So, Justin, who are you liking this one?
I like the Pack in this one. I think the Pack is back, and I think that they start to build a little momentum for the playoffs. Seattle, I don't think is going to need it because I think most of the teams are going to lose, excluding obviously the Rams this week. So I think that they'll still have the momentum for the division, and the Pack will get a little bit more.
I like it. Indeed. By the way, Daryl, that's we were talking about who else he had in. So he's got Achane and Chase Brown. Those are the other guys.
Oh.
Ooh,
man.
I don't know.
I would say Chase Brown, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'd bench Achane. That's what I was talking about. I just think one of those days today that you are, again, we're going to see more in the passing game. That's kind of Texans, bread and butter on defense, quite frankly. So I'm feeling that. Brian likes America's team. That's right, baby. By the way, thank you. Gave us a super sticker. Wow, that's I think our first super sticker I think we've ever had. So thank you, Brian. We appreciate that. All right. So before we get on to we got a couple more here. Let's go, Greg. What do you think? Pittman, Elijah Moore, or McCormick in the flex? What do you think?
Damn. Anybody on the waiver wire? I'm just saying, like, you grab. If I had to choose, and there's nothing out there, I would probably go with Elijah Moore in this situation, but it's tough sledding right here. But I would go with Elijah Moore. If you can find somebody else on the waiver wire, see what's out there, but I would go with Elijah Moore. It's tough.
Yeah, I disagree. I only disagree with he doesn't need to go to the waiver wire. Elijah Moore is a good option because there's no Njoku. We talked about the weather earlier. Wind may be a factor today. But Sincere McCormick, I mean, they are talking about feeding this guy to rock. Atlanta is garbage on defense. So that would be the guy I'd be looking at, quite frankly, in this matchup. So, Rob, we appreciate that. Indeed. By the way, Justin, Kevin said you better be pulling for those Seahawks today. Indeed. But let's just take a look because he's not, because there's only one lone wolf in the building for the Seahawks today, and that's LeDuc. LeDuc going out on a lime this week. He thinks the Seahawks wins this matchup. I think, my personal thoughts is I think it's going to be a really good game to give Kevin some credit here, and especially playing at home. But I think the Packers, going off that loss last week in Detroit, going to be hungry for a victory this week, and I think that they're going to go into Seattle and make some noise. All right, let's go to the 2 Monday night games I could probably sleep through. Bears at the Vikings.
gosh.
Vikings lead this series 67, 58-2. Last time they played was a few weeks ago. Minnesota won 30-27, probably the best Caleb Williams day we've seen. Minnesota's favored by 6.5. The over-under is 44. Justin, who are you liking this one?
I like the Vikings. I think that the Bears are probably going to start packing it in soon. I think it's going to be an entertaining game because it's a divisional game, but I do think that the Vikings are just going to continue to push ahead towards getting number 2 in the division.
While Justin eats breakfast, let's hammer it down. Vikings win this thing all day. The claiming of the cereal bowl.
That's actually my wife down in our little living area. So I'll just remember to mute myself.
Bang Qualls got a question. Let's go, Justin. Give me one of these guys between Spears. Can someone help me with that one? I'm not sure who that one is.
I don't even know who that is.
Curtis Samuel or David Moore?
That's the third wide receiver for the Bengals.
Oh.
I don't even know how to say it. But let's just say I won't be picking him. Curtis Samuel or David Moore. Man, it's kind of crazy that I want to say this, but I kind of want to go with Curtis Samuel just because I think there's going to be opportunities there. Mm-hmm. David Moore, Jalen Coker is coming back. Jatavian Sanders will be there, and then Adam Thielen is obviously the top dog. And then with the Bengals, this Andre Iovasas guy, or however you say it, Iosivas, he's had his days, but he's not going to take away from Higgins or Chase or Brown. So then Spears, if Pollard's playing, then I don't want any part of Spears. So I think I'll probably just stick with Curtis Samuel in this one. And if you're shaky with the Curtis Samuel one, I'd go with David Moore. But that's obviously kind of one of those things where maybe check your waiver wire for Stone Smart.
I think if Pollard was out, Spears would probably be a no-brainer in this one. But I'm feeling what you're saying with Curtis Samuel because, as we alluded to earlier, that's one of those games where I just want to get anybody possibly, if there's any question, that game in itself, I want to get my guys in there. That's where the Lions have struggled, is against receivers. So I think I'm feeling you with that, although it's going to get a little crowded in the Bills' receiving core now with Keon Coleman coming back. And you already have Mari Cooper now in the lineup, Khalil Shakir. So it's getting a little crowded in there. But that's kind of where I'd be at too. And I'm not going to try to pronounce Andre I can't even pronounce JSN for the whole rest of the season. So yeah, he's looking for his flex spot. Thank you, Bang Quells. We appreciate you. Concha says, "Go Pack, go!" And of course, trying to help us out with the pronunciation. Greg, let's go. Bo Nix or Sam Darnold today?
You can't. I don't think you can lose with either one, to be honest with you. But I like how Sam's been playing. I like how Bo Nix has been playing. But in this matchup, I'm gonna go with Sam Darnold. I like Sam. But honestly, if you go with Bo Nix, the way that he makes plays with his legs and Cortland Sutton and stuff like that, either one, I don't think you're gonna lose with.
Yeah, you got good options either way.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, I think, it's an interesting play. Plus, it's that Monday night. I always like having that Monday night. So I like that too. Yeah. Brian, thank you, bro. Brian's the man, bro. He's
Yoshi
phonetically spelling it for it. Yoshi Voss. There we go. So now we can say it correctly. Yoshi Voss. All right, thank you. You are the man today, no doubt about it. All right, let's finish up the picks with the last one on Monday night. We got the Falcons and the Raiders. Falcons lead the series 8-7. Last time we played was in 2020. Falcons won 43-6. They won 5 in a row in the series. Atlanta's favored by 5.5, and the over/under is 44.5. So, Greg, who you liking this?
Listen, I picked this before Max Crosby went out with his injury for the season. But just like Justin said earlier, there's always those upsets and those games like, what the hell happened? I'm picking the Raiders over the Falcons because Kirk Cousins has been playing bad football, man, and it's just terrible. And I was hoping that Max Crosby plays, so we might see Kirk Cousins on his back a little bit from Max Crosby. But I'm still going to go with the Raiders. I'm going to stand with my pick, Jason. This is my upset pick of the week. Raiders. Let's go.
Justin, who do you like?
I like the Raiders as well. And you know what? I'll tell you this, Juice, you know why I like the Raiders? Not only because you and me, we're going to be winning this one because you got one of the dunces on your side, just one probably. But every time the Raiders have something catastrophic like Max Crosby goes down, for some reason they're in a primetime game, and for some reason they beat a team they have no business beating. It happens. It happens a lot. And everybody goes, oh, whoa, are the Raiders for real? And then the next week they take a big crap. But I'm just going to say this. Also, Desmond Ridder revenge game. Ooh. Desmond Ridder gets his revenge against the team that kicked him off after just drafting him because they wanted to go get some fancy new toy and they wanted to go get some Kirk Cousins to see if they could get somewhere, and they couldn't. So Desmond Ridder revenge game. Sincere McCormick is a nice play. And gosh damn it, if you got Brock Bowers, never take him out of your lineup.
Never, ever. Yeah, so I like that little case you made there, Justin. It kind of made me think this is possible. But no, I'm not changing my pick. Let's go Atlanta Falcons. And again, I agree with what you said, though. They do end up playing well in a big Antonio Pierce. They're just coach well, period. So I like it. By the way, Brian said autocorrect try to replace Yoshi with Toshiba. That is freaking hilarious. Rob says he likes the Raiders too, and he's got our last question here. What do you think, Justin? Jacoby Myers or Amari Cooper?
Well, Rob, I'm just going to say this. You got to go big, man. And Amari Cooper is about as going big as you can in this Detroit game. I like Amari Cooper to have a nice game in this one. And I think it's just going to be necessary. This is a firepower type of game. This is where you just show off everything you got. And while I like Jacoby Myers in PPR purposes, I don't like him to get 2 touchdowns in a game. I like Amari Cooper to get 2 touchdowns in a game.
That is certainly possible. I like Jacoby Myers too, though. It's a good matchup. Atlanta's, but again, it's worrying about who's throwing him the football, I think, is the main difference when you got Josh Allen on one end and whoever the hell else in the Vegas side. I'm definitely going to go with Josh Allen for sure.
Plus Brock Bowers is your hog, right? He's your hog. He's your number one guy.
Indeed.
So I agree.
Well, Thank everyone for all your lineup questions and all that good stuff. And I hope you stuck with us today because we always have a treat at the end of our show. I know that if you've been here with us this morning, you weren't able to get to church. So we got church here for you. Our boy, Fantasy Jesus, is here, and he's here to bless your fantasy rosters. Let's check it out.
I'm here to save your fantasy rosters.
Good morning, TSS family, and welcome into Fantasy Jesus' Week 15 picks for your DFS lineups. If you made it this far, congratulations on coming to the playoffs, and good luck. Let's get it kicked off with Justin Herbert. Love me some Justin Herbert in this game. The Bucs are terrible across the board on defense, and I look for Justin Herbert to get Vlad McConkey back, Stone Smart involved in the game, and really put the presence of points on the board for them. I look for Justin Herbert to easily max out his $5,900 value on DFS this week. Go ahead and put him on your team. Next, we got Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle is going against the league's worst rushing attack. The rushing defense, my apologies. And it's going to be an easy game, I think, for both teams to score. I look for Rico to continue his breakout this week. Put him in your lineup at 6,100. Then we've got Adam Thielen sticking with the same game. 5,400 for a guy who's got 50 points in his first 3 games of the season. The guy has just been absolutely amazing. And, for the life of me, I can't understand why he's at 5,400. But all I'm going to say is take advantage of it because everybody has been taking advantage of that Dallas Cowboys secondary. Next, we got the Kyle Pitts against the Raiders. So Kyle Pitts, I know everybody's shrugging their shoulders. Everybody's like, I even cringe a little bit myself saying that name. But it's playoffs time, and the matchup is there. The Raiders are the third worst team against tight ends. And this is a game in which Kyle Pitts, Kirk Cousins, everybody needs to get back on track or else the season is completely lost. Look for Kyle Pitts to have a very serviceable day at a very low price. And finally, we're going to go with the Cleveland Browns defense. I think this game is going to be a defensive struggle, period. And for me, I look at it like I'm going to get the cheaper option. Cleveland Browns at 2,200 is one of the cheapest options, period. And this game is going to be in 25-mile-an-hour gusts. There's not going to be a lot of deep balls. I think this is going to be a real struggle to move the ball for both teams. Low-scoring game. I'll take 2,200. That has been your 5 DFS picks. And I'm your fantasy Jesus. May your lineup be blessed.
Be blessed indeed. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate all of you for joining us today. Don't forget to check us out next Friday when we'll break down all of Week 16. And, of course, wake up with us next week right here. All right. Well, from us to you, we appreciate you. You can check us out on social media at TSS Fantasy. If you have any more lineup questions, feel free to drop it in there, and we'll answer those for you. From us to you, we appreciate you, and we are out.